Whoa, we're back for some Bleach Soul Resonance, and we have the Spanish Bleach Soul Resonance news account. If you're a Spanish speaker natively, or, you know, you're just looking for something maybe in this realm, of course, go ahead and give them a follow. We also have one for France, I believe. But they say that a profile frame was recently added to the game files. We don't know how to obtain it. And is it from some kind of event? It's also unknown. The frame just appeared. And I think a lot of people would look at this and first off they think, maybe this could be something like Bankai, or not Bankai Ichigo, but Vasto Lorde Ichigo. I saw another person saying this looks a bit like Yammy Largo. You know, his bottom mask, the chin bone, is the piece of his mask that he has left. If you remember, the Odankar all have bits and bobs of their masks remaining. They were broken. So interesting to think. Yammy Largo's Zero is also red, whereas, you know, someone like Okieta is green, and, you know, Nell's is pink and things like that. So it does match. It does match in that regard. Though these red lines have led people to think that maybe it's a Vasto Lorde. The thing is about Vasto Lorde is it has black lines. Maybe there's some kind of manga version that leans red, but I've almost never seen it anyway but depicted this way. The Seto is red, of course, but like I said, the other thing is that we could be looking at this version of the mask. You can see there's like these gaps in the white, and as we sort of look a little closer, you can sort of see the gaps in the white right there that sort of connect in that way. Another piece right here that's white, another piece that's here that's white. So definitely looking more like maybe in reference to Bankai Ichigo. If it is going to be a mask, does not to me look like a version of Vasto Lorde in any way, though. Yeah, this is another piece that looks pretty good right here. You see the bits of white at the jawbone here. The only thing with Vasto Lorde Ichigo, and you can see that when you look at the teeth here, and where the teeth is represented here, is they are sort of different. They're sort of like they're very what are they, like, almost like bulb shaped, like very oddly positioned, and that looks way more like Yammy Largo's mask. As far as it being either, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I think it's a little hard to tell. Obviously, though, he is missing the red bits and bobs, and even in his transform state, he is missing those bits and bobs. As you scroll down here and see other versions of him, he does not have those red linings. So for my money, I think this is probably just a Bankai Ichigo frame, and we might see this. I mean, what would this be for? Maybe we are going to get buffs. Maybe this is like a little bit of a hint that Bankai Ichigo is going to be making a return in some way, like, that is notable. Maybe we'll get some kind of Bankai Ichigo that goes into Vasto Lorde Ichigo, you know, because he does. What is the event that triggers Vasto Lorde Ichigo again? You can remind me in the comments, but isn't it the first time or the second time he fights Okieta? When he's essentially, his heart stops to kill him, and he Deus Ex Machinas that shit and becomes a demon. But yeah, I'm thinking this looks more like Ichigo. I saw a lot of people saying Yammy Largo and Vasto Lorde Ichigo, but I think the Bankai Ichigo that we have, his mask, looks more fitting. And this is going to bring up another conversation that we sort of have, which is, you know, who should we get? Who's coming next? Are we getting Grimjaw next? Are we getting, you know, Shunsui next? Or Yukitake, Yamamoto, blah, blah, blah. I would not expect the game to go forever without another Ichigo. And just because we have a transforming Ichigo who goes from Bankai Ichigo to Hollow Ichigo, don't think that means we're not going to get an Ichigo that turn 1, frame 1, boom, he enters the fight and he immediately pulls down the mask. I think we'll get something like that eventually. You should expect recurring, you know, various forms of Ichigo because he is the main character. So yeah, I mean, he's going to be the character that gets the most stuff. So it would not surprise me, like I said, for us to either see an Ichigo that is just full on, he's hollow, and maybe he goes into Vasto Lorde, or this is just like a frame and he's going to get buffed, or, you know, etc., etc. So that is my expectation. Over here, we've got, I believe it's Giku, with the Bleach Soul Resonance news account. Go ahead and follow that one if you're looking for an English account. Saying huge win for Bleach Soul Resonance. The game made more in February compared to January. This makes sense. This can be attributed to Kenpachi's buffs. Yep, of course. And the amazing CNY packs. Keep in mind the web store was down for NA. It's big. It's big. So a lot of people were a little worried when this dropped to 4 million. I believe it went from 10 million on launch, or not on launch, but post-launch with like an Aizen celebration to around, 4.8, and now up to 5.3, which is very impressive, I think, for a game to sustain in this way now, because we're in the chill out period. That's the important part that people sort of need to get, is not every celebration, not every moment after a gacha launches is going to be 10 million, 40 million, 30 million, unless you're someone like Wuwa or Genshin or, et cetera, et cetera. And even those games, comparatively, Genshin made 66 million, Wuwa made 19 million in January and then popped up to 46 million, right? So a huge leap, right? These games are gonna vary a lot. I mean, Dokkan went from 20 million to 34 million. So another huge leap, right? That's just how it's gonna be. But as you sort of like scale down, and I believe Bleach Soul Resonance was at 30. Yeah, 30 right here. This is a great spot for Bleach Soul Resonance to be in, I think, me personally, because think about what Bleach Soul Resonance is now doing. Like, we're into our first celebration that is sort of themed around a holiday. So a quote unquote major celebration. We don't know, because we don't have all the, like, what is Bleach Soul Resonance going to look like in 2 years when now there's a pattern? We don't know. Is CNY always going to be like considered a big celebration? Is this even our first big celebration for Bleach Soul Resonance? Maybe not. Maybe we could have actually seen the 10 million that Aizen pulled as being our first real big celebration, right? Because Aizen is obviously a very hyped character. They moved Aizen up, right? So it is interesting to consider. I do think that it's doing very well. So we have Cookie Run Kingdom making 5 million. That's less than Bleach Soul Resonance, which is a newer property. Cookie Run Kingdom has an established fan base. Azure Lane has an established fan base, made less than Bleach Soul Resonance. And there's nothing wrong with any, like, no shade to any of these games. If you want to play any of them, it's fine. I'm not saying anything like that. I'm just saying that it's worth remembering when people are like, oh my god, Bleach Soul Resonance is dead. Like, I saw a weird amount of dooming when the game is like really good. Like, I don't know. I saw some weird dooming last month and I was like, what is wrong with people? Are you guys, like, you guys wouldn't survive when in like the worst Dokkan battle patches. Like, you would never survive Dokkan battle putting out slop. I promise you. Like, that November, October period of Dokkan battle, you'd think the game was literally going to EOS by the end of the year. If you think that, like, Bleach Soul Resonance putting out all these updates, all this content, all these buffs, all these changes is like a bad sign. So to continue to like go down like a few $1 million difference, I don't think is bad at all. I think this is great. Obviously it's like uptick. We could take out a few other games, like, so Jujutsu Kaisen Phantom Parade is notable. Obviously if you follow Giku, you know that this game is another one that has been running for 2 years, I want to say, maybe going on its third year. I could be completely wrong about that, but I think 2 years sounds right. I think it's coming up on 2. So making about 7 million and then dropping to 3.3 million. Chaos Zero Nightmare, a game that I play, made 3 million in the month before that. They made 5 million. So Bleach Soul Resonance has outsold Chaos Zero Nightmare twice, and Chaos Zero Nightmare is like a very polished game. Like, if they can polish Chaos Zero Nightmare on $5 million, on $3 million, and be like, yeah, we're succeeding, then Bleach Soul Resonance is going to continue to be all right. I promise you. Anyone else here who's like, One Piece Treasure Cruise, a long-lasting game. Shadowverse Worlds Beyond, game that's doing really well as well. Like, considering, I don't know if it counts the web store numbers, but considering, like I said, we're in range. I mean, Epic 7's a game that's been around for 7 years. Again, 1.6 million, so double that, you know what I mean? Triple that, and you've got Bleach Soul Resonance. Gooner game Brown Dust is way lower. We can see that Kaiju number 8 is a game that is continuing to get like big releases. Oda Overdrive is a recently revealed game, and it's not doing like that. What, like, these it matters only because like there was a little bit of worry about Bleach Soul Resonance, and I literally didn't understand where it was coming from. Like if you looked at this, you would never have guessed that anyone was worried because there are a bunch of games below it and above it by not that long. I mean, Summer Wars made 8 million. The month before that, it made 6 million. Summoner's Wars has been around for like 10 years. You know what I mean? Summoner's Wars has put like, didn't they get a Jujutsu Kaisen like collaboration recently as well? Like these, don't worry about it. Try not to look at it. You know, One Piece Bounty Rush is where we start getting the 10 millions. Dragon Ball Legends is coming off of its big world tournament. It made 10 million. So a game that's really established for like 7 years made double Bleach Soul Resonance, which is a game that's, you know, continuing to find its footing, right? So, you know, like it I don't know. It's very, very amusing to see people's sort of responses to Bleach Soul Resonance, you know, doing a little bit worse than the month after Aizen, right? And after Gin, so we'll have to see. But yeah, I'm very happy with where the game is as of right now. We're still looking towards who it will release. I think that it's really exciting that we kind of don't know, though we will know soon. We'll probably get an announcement soon. We'll probably get some kind of promo for a stream soon. But it is exciting that we kind of just don't know if it's going to be Grimjaw. Hopefully it just strikes something. I kind of don't care what. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for today. I just want to do a little wrap-up, a little glaze session of Bleach Soul Resonance. Like if you like the video, subscribe to join the club. We all go make it, and peace.